Man, a competitive creature. He will run, walk, jump, or swim his very best to prove that he can go faster, farther, or better than his fellow man. Just as men have race cars, boats, and motorcycles, as soon as there were two snowmobilers, one had to prove he could go faster than the other. These highly tuned, modified racing machines are Thunder Jets built by Sno Jet, built to learn how to build better machines for the family, built to study advanced engineering and assembly techniques, built to race, and built to win. This is a story about snowmobile racing in the winter of 1971-72. It seems at times that racing is dominated by large factory teams with huge budgets, expensive equipment, and highly paid racers. But racing belongs to the fans, who are some of the most faithful and enthusiastic in the world, and to the racers who aren't on those factory teams, but who want to compete. There are men and women who will travel all over North America to go up against the very best, and those who will stay close to home and run against their friends and neighbors. So the Thunder Jet was built with these people in mind. Sno Jet doesn't have a factory racing team, and as it turned out, we don't have to. The Thunder Jet and its racers from all over the United States and Canada have racked up an impressive record of state, provincial, national, and international titles. The Thunder Jet is the result of work of Sno Jet engineers in both Canada and the United States. The man in charge of this program is Dwayne Aho. Let's listen to what Dwayne has to say about the 71-72 racing season, how the program got started, and some of its history.
Sno Jet has been active in racing for many years. Originally, the stock machine did a fine job. We learned 3 years ago that we were not as competitive. We needed certain things. There were certain things that were on all winning machines that we didn't have.
Dwayne, I've heard a term quite often in spending some time around you and other people working on the Thunder Jet program. F equals MA. What is F equals MA? What's our secret formula here?
It's a basic term of dynamics and physics, that force equals mass times acceleration. If you have less mass, you have more acceleration for the same force. We have competitive engines, we have the same power as anything else. But we can come off the starting line faster or come out of a turn faster if we're lighter weight. It's a basic term for all race equipment.
What about the unusual looking chassis on these machines? Is this any different from other racing machines at all? The metal used?
Yes, there's a lot of advertising about aircraft aluminum. We, I believe, would be the only ones using true aircraft aluminum. It's much stronger, heat treated.
Well, by achieving a low center of gravity on a machine, what advantages does that give you in specific handling?
Well, as in race cars, in standard twin snowmobiles, you don't want to overturn them with loss of weight. The low center of gravity allows you faster turns, better handling in the rough. I've seen the moguls or holes in the snow up to 3 feet deep in cases, and hitting these moguls at 60, 70 miles an hour, the machine does leave the ground. You don't want to get crossed up, turned around, and you want to stay flat and level.
How about the rather unusual engine placement on this machine, forward and quite low and to the left? How did that come about?
Part of it was natural because most oval racing races counterclockwise and move the engine inward. But the real reason was to enable us to get the weight of the drivetrain down, the driven pulley down, and also to give us a good sweep for our pipes to come out.
The very first major race of the season showed what was to come, as Sno Jet took 3 first places at Ironwood, Michigan. State championships were won in Montana, Minnesota, Utah, and Wyoming, among others. Provincial titles were won in Saskatchewan, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Quebec. And on to the biggest races in Canada, the Karatha and World Cup races in Peterborough, Ontario. Some of the factory racers were so impressed that they stopped to watch Jim Adama go by. Jim's Thunderjets won more races than any other individual. All Jim did was win 6 out of 9 races that he entered. The only Thunderjet entrant to complete the 3 days of competition was clearly the class of the field. Eagle River, Wisconsin, the World Championships. The toughest racing in the world. The Thunderjets came to Wisconsin and raced away with just about every trophy in sight. Big Oval, the Sno Jets took first place honors in modified 1, 2, 3, and 4, with Adama sharing the individual laurels with Kim Elmer and Louis Berman of Minnesota. At Boonville, New York, the Thunderjets were shut out in the finals, but did well in the speed trials. Grabbing places in the open, modified 3 and 4, and winning modified 1. But the Thunderjet was in action in smaller local races too, like this one in Alexandria, Minnesota. Ladies compete in modified competition. This gal brought her Sno Jet home first, with no one even close. In the big race of the weekend, 17-year-old Kim Elmer took the 800cc class with a 650 machine. Only the best get to race at the World Series, held this year at Ironwood, Michigan. 17 Thunderjet competitors qualified for the field, the most in history.
Oh, a bit of a tangle up there, but everybody's okay in turn number one. Down the back straight away they go.
Even the poor weather conditions didn't dampen their enthusiasm, although the mud did keep them from a better showing. Stock SST showed up to do battle against the super stock competition and thrill the crowd by beating 2/3 of them to the wire. This year came to a close much like it started, but a long way from home. West Yellowstone, Montana, and Jim Adom. He raced his 292cc machine to a first place to close out the best season of racing ever for Sno Jet. With the season over, Sno Jet engineers are once again hard at work, bringing Thunderjet developed improvements to the production line. Things like a newly contoured seat for the SST, aluminum tunnel and front engine mounting for the Whisper Jet, this is where racing really pays off for the consumer. In a better, stronger, faster, and more reliable machine.
Well, with this highly successful season of racing under your belt and under the Thunderjet's belt, what are some of the things that you're thinking about doing in the future with the program?
We're going to continue to achieve lighter weight. We've got to jump ahead of competition this year. We had a lot of steel in this year's Thunderjet that we can replace with aluminum.
And the testing of the race machines goes on. Sometimes we have our problems, though. But the Thunderjets will be ready and waiting for winter, just like all the other 1973 Sno Jets. We'll see you on the trail.